Guys, this is going to be an important video today, okay? And I have talked about this a lot in the past, and I've lost a lot of subscribers from talking about this, but I actually don't care, guys. I don't care if I lose subscribers. I don't care if you guys don't like me and you go off me and think I'm super negative because I talk about this shit. Guys, I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to be famous, okay? I'm here to really get people out of negative thought patterns and destructive ways in their life, okay? That's what I feel like my purpose is, or the purpose I'm creating for myself, all right, is to be a good mindset coach for you guys and to really make you see things in a different light, all right? So guys, today I'm going to talk about how spirituality and religion ruined my life, all right? Now, guys, I'm not going to sit here and say all the ways spirituality helped me, okay, or religion helped me and changed my life. Guys, we've heard hundreds of thousands of testimonies of how religion and spirituality and manifestation and tarot, okay, saved people. We don't need to hear my version of that, okay? I am a psychic medium for a living, so I'll touch on that and I'll touch on another few things, but we're not going to go into depth about how good spirituality is. We know, okay, we know. Today I want to talk about the warnings about spirituality and religion, because everyone harps on about how amazing it is for you, but no one really talks about how detrimental it can be for your mental health and just your worldview, how much it can seriously deteriorate your mind, okay? Now, guys, this year, why I have been speaking out about this more is I actually found out I have severe OCD, okay? Now, OCD is not just, oh, I like things tidy, okay? It comes in many different forms, and with many different compulsions and intrusive thoughts, okay? But what OCD is, guys, it's obsessive thought patterns, all right? So very intrusive thoughts, very obsessive thought patterns, unable to get out of rumination loops, okay? Becoming hyper focused on a situation and becoming very obsessed with it and getting very intrusive thoughts about that, okay? So I figured out that I have like religion, what do they call it? Like, religious OCD, spiritual OCD, okay? And many other forms of OCD coming in here, right? Contamination OCD, magical thinking OCD, just right OCD. Like, I have a lot of them, okay? So guys, for me, I'm talking about the extreme version of my mental health. A lot of you guys will not relate with this because you aren't an obsessive thinker, okay? But some of you will, because you have got trauma or you do have OCD, which makes you ruminate a lot, or like, you know, not have a deep sense of self, which makes you cling to ideologies and really lose yourself in them, okay? So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Realize that this is coming from extreme level and why I had to exit spirituality and religion. But, you know, even though I have OCD, doesn't mean I'm not a wise, you know, critical thinker as well, guys. So even though I have that like mental illness, okay, I don't identify with that too much because, you know, I don't want that to become me, like Andy OCD, okay? But I want to make some really good points about spirituality and religion and why it's destructive, not only if you have OCD or trauma and shit like that, okay? So let's jump straight into it. Guys, when I look back on my journey with spirituality and religion, I really try and think to myself, like, how have I become such a wise, grounded person? Was it from spirituality or religion? Or was it from therapy and self-help, okay? And what I come to realize is because I was doing therapy and self-help combined with religion and spirituality, okay? And I realized when I, you know, separate that down the middle, therapy and self-help actually saved my life, all right? And yeah, like I was doing, I don't even want to call meditation a spiritual practice because the meditation I was doing was not to find God, okay? It was to calm my mind, all right? And it wasn't to like find out who I truly was and separate the ego and all this shit. It was just to literally calm my mind because obviously I had OCD and I wasn't aware. And there was like 800 million people up here, okay? So the biggest things that helped me in my journey to become a wise, grounded, critical thinker that I am today, which I could really say like, fuck, I've come so far and I really am like so much better than I used to be. Self-help videos, breath work, meditation, but not in the spiritual form, like the calming your nervous system form and learning that through therapy. Inner child work, okay? And again, I really wouldn't call that spiritual. You guys can whack a spiritual label on it, but it's kind of just like integrating your inner child who was traumatized into your adult self, okay? So if that's a spiritual practice, sure, we can call it that. But practical self-help, okay? How to have boundaries, how to say no to people, how to not get all walked over, how to really, like, I did change so much shit with affirmations, but again, guys, sure, we could say that's spiritual, but I feel like that's more rewiring your mind through positive thinking and positive thought, all right? So those are the things that truly changed my life, okay? And again, if we want to call that spiritual or religious, sure. I don't associate those things with spirituality or religion in the way I was doing it, okay? But guys, when I think about spirituality and religion, apart from a sense of belonging, I will say it really made me feel like a part of community. It really made me feel like I belong somewhere in a world that I felt very isolated from, very alienated from. So the only thing it really did for me is give me a community and a sense of like extreme belonging, which was very important at the time, okay? I really, really needed that. But apart from that, it sent me into psychosis. Literally, and again, guys, this could just be because of my obsessive mind, but I have a lot of clients being a psychic medium, and I've seen a lot of people over these last 5.5, 6 years that are spiritual based, okay? We'll touch on religion in a second, that are spiritual based. And a lot of these people lost their mind with spirituality, and the way they talk is very delusional, okay? And I can see it because I was so fucking deeply in it, okay, guys? Spirituality really it really made me so out of touch with the world. It really made me fucking delusional. It gave me a superiority complex. I became very egotistical. I became very looking down on people, like thinking I was top shit, right? It really made me a person I didn't want to be, okay? Guys, I was never a religious person. Like when I talk about religion, I'm more talking about non-duality within Hinduism, okay? So yes, that is religion, okay? But when you think of religion, I'm sure you're thinking of Christianity or being Catholic or things like that. Like Hinduism is more like a spiritual religion in a sense. But guys, that was extremely, so I dabbled in a lot of Hinduism, especially around non-duality, and that fucked me. That fucked my mind, okay? There's no free will, there's no self, like, you know, we're all one, all this shit, guys, that fucked me, okay? And in the spiritual community too, they're like, you know, we chose our trauma, like shadow work, like all this shit, like tarot, astrology. Guys, this is not a video shitting on your spiritual or religious beliefs. I'm a big believer that if you're a good person and you walk around with an open heart, loving people, being kind, not pushing your ideologies and religion on them, and you're just like, hey, I'm spiritual, I'm religious, like, I don't care if you're gay, black, white, straight, fucking an alien, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna love you and treat you with respect because you're a person. Awesome. I think you're an amazing person regardless of your beliefs, okay? So this is not a video shitting on your beliefs. This is a video to wake you up if you have realized that you've fallen into bad habits and bad views with spirituality and religion, and you're like, yeah, I am outgrowing it and I do want to move on from it, okay? If you want to keep spirituality and religion in your life and it's really helped you and you really love it, okay, keep it, okay? I'm not here to tell you what to do, all right? I'm just telling you my experience with it and how it was dangerous for me, and possibly it is for you too, okay? So guys, before I get into the nitty-gritty of religion and spirituality and how harmful it can be, I just want to address the elephant in the room. Andy, are you religious or spiritual now? Guys, I don't like the term, like, again, I was never really religious, so I don't even want to say I was religious. I was just dipping into Hinduism because of its more spiritual parts of it, okay? But let's talk about spirituality. Am I spiritual? I'm a fucking psychic medium for a living. Am I spiritual? Guys, I would say no. I would say I'm not spiritual now, and I'll tell you why, okay? It's like, Andy, how the fuck can you have such a spiritual career and say that you're not spiritual? Guys, I have faith, okay? I don't know what's out there, and I don't think anyone fucking does, all right? So these are my beliefs. Now, like, I'm gonna walk around taking full accountability for my actions and being the best person I can be, and knowing that a lot is fucking out of my control, but the things that I can control, I'm gonna take full responsibility and accountability for. Meaning, do I take accountability for my subconscious mind and my thoughts? No. Okay, guys, manifestation fucked me. Absolutely fucked me. Someone with severe OCD controlling your thoughts. What a joke, okay? That nearly set me into fucking psychosis, okay? I'm not even kidding. Like, I was in psychosis for a bit because of it. Guys, I'm not going to follow this belief that your thoughts create your reality. I'm not doing that anymore. Your subconscious mind is spitting out all this good and negative shit. I'm not doing that anymore, okay? So if I get in a car accident, okay, I'm going to talk about this. If I get in a car accident and I have so many intrusive thoughts about getting in a car accident and I get in a car accident, okay, I'm not taking responsibility because my subconscious mind and my thoughts manifested a car accident. If I get in a car accident and I'm being stupid on the road, I'm drink driving, I would never do that, I'm just giving extreme examples. I'm drink driving, I'm on the road, I'm doing this, okay, and I hit someone, I'm on my phone texting, I'm talking, I'm distracted, and I hit someone. Oh yeah, I'm taking full accountability for that, okay? But yeah, and that's fucking on me. I did that and I have to live with that because of my actions, okay? Am I taking responsibility for my thoughts and my subconscious mind? Absolutely not. Guys, I feel like that is such a slippery fucking slope, okay? So we'll get to that in a second, okay? So that's my beliefs. I have faith, okay? I have faith that there is something else out there, something so much bigger than me that I don't know, all right? I have the faith that if I lead a good, honest life with integrity, respect, love, kindness, while still being human, I can still fuck up, okay? And make mistakes, that's natural. But I'm talking about not intentionally being malicious or harmful or right? I believe if I lead my life in a good, honest way, that good things will come to me, that I will lead a good life. But if that does not end up being true, if I end up suffering in this world and having a fucking shit life, like maybe I get a lot of mental illnesses or physical illnesses, or a lot of tragic events happen to me, or terrible people come into my life and hurt me, I would take my responsibility for the actions I took in order to get those experiences, right? So maybe I didn't heal my trauma and I had no boundaries and no self-respect, and I was attracting really toxic people and everything like that. So yeah, it makes sense, toxic people in my life, because I had no boundaries or self-respect. I did stand up for myself. I take accountability for that. Or, you know, maybe I built a house in a flood zone knowing it was a fucking flood zone, and then a massive like a tsunami comes, or like, you know, a massive flood happens, okay? I take responsibility for knowing it was a flood zone and building my house there, and I should have been more more cluey about that. But I'm not taking responsibility for the weather. Do you see where I'm coming from here, guys? Okay? And I'm not, if I suffer in this lifetime while being a good person with high integrity and morals and respect, if I suffer, if I live a bad life, I'm not going to point my fingers to, you did this, you did that. It's the universe, it's God, it's my ex, it's my mom, it's my dad, it's the neighbor down the road. No, it's no one's fault. Good and bad things happen to everyone. And I'm under the belief and the faith that if I do good and put good out, good will return to me. And is that spiritual? Again, you could say it's spiritual, but I think if you're a loving, kind person that radiates loving, kind energy, loving, kind people will find you if you have boundaries, okay? Big if you're not a doormat and you have boundaries, okay? I'm not talking about being a people pleaser doormat, all right? I'm talking about being a very like grounded, loving person. That's my belief, okay? But I also believe good and bad things happen to everyone. And you have to take responsibility for the things that you've done in your life, right? That you've caused physically. But I'm not taking I'm not taking responsibility for my thoughts and my subconscious mind and what life deals me, right? Right? I'm not taking responsibility for that. If I get cancer because I've eaten bad foods all my life and I like it runs in the family and things like that, it's like, okay, cool, I kind of get it, right? But if I get like this deadly disease out of nowhere and I live a very healthy, fit life and it was kind of just like a disaster kind of out of nowhere, it's like, fuck, like, I don't know how this happened to you, that's shit, right? I'm not blaming the universe for that, guys, okay? And I'm not blaming myself. I did the best I could. It's life happens, right? So guys, truly, that's my whole belief system now, all right? And I really do feel like this is more of my beliefs, that we should really heal ourselves with self-development. Okay, I feel like that's so important because so many people go around hurting other people, spilling all their childhood trauma onto other people and everything because they don't take the time to really like unpeel all their trauma and bullshit and find boundaries and find self-respect and find confidence and everything. And I feel like you can really do that with affirmations and like really like sitting with yourself and life experience and all that shit, okay? But again, that's got nothing to do with the soul or, you know, Palladians or like fucking like astrology and, you know, tarot. That's got nothing to do with that. That's like taking accountability for where you are in life and being like, I don't want to be a shit person that doesn't save money, doesn't work out, is messy, fucking has short-term relationships, is shit to other people, that has no friends, right? I want to be a happy, confident, successful person. And how am I going to do that internally without spirituality? How am I going to change myself? Okay, that's my beliefs. Moving on to how spirituality ruined my life. Guys, coming into spirituality, I just desperately want to know why I was here, how to alleviate my suffering. Okay, if I could be like so internally happy, right? Just like, and you see people that are enlightened, okay? When you come into spirituality, I should say, I feel like enlightenment is a goal for a lot of people, all right? You hear like, oh, this person's enlightened, or they have no ego anymore, or they've had ego deaths, or, you know, they're so woke, all this shit. And spiritual people that come in who are normally suffering immensely, they're very traumatized, they don't know themselves, they have no sense of self. This is not a judgment. I was this person, okay? And a lot of people are. Life breaks you down, I get it, okay? But they come in, they have no sense of self, they're just so lost, okay? And they see these people that are woke and spiritual and all this shit, and they're like, oh my God, only if I can be enlightened and have like, you know, unconditional happiness, right? Then I'll be happy, then I've made it, then I'll be like Jesus Christ, then I'll be like the Buddha, like no one can hurt me, I'll never suffer again, I'm above all people, like I'm fucking woke, okay? I feel like subconsciously, like people that are broken and traumatized and all that, I say that loosely, right? That's the goal, okay? Now guys, being in the spiritual community, learning about tarot and astrology and other planets and, you know, timelines and everything like that. And then moving into non-duality where it's like, actually, the ego is the problem and there's no self and we're all one and all this shit, okay? Like, it was such a mind fuck for me. You have so many people telling all these different stories, keyword stories, okay? And none of them make sense because they're so different. Okay. And when you ask people, okay, psychics like myself, or, you know, like spiritual teachers, or you actually work with enlightened masters, which I did, okay? I worked with two enlightened masters. Even my fucking words, my terminology, enlightened masters, shut the fuck up. Like, enlightened people, okay? I worked with two of those. Guys, no one knows how the fuck we got here, and no one knows what the fuck they're talking about. It is all stories that just go round and round in circles, okay? And guys, again, if you're Christian, I'm not bashing Christianity. I'm not here to be a, you know, a religious hater, okay? It's got nothing to do with that. But from a young age, I could see the kind of scammy reality of Christianity and God. I was just like, because I went to, we had a chaplain in school that talked about religion, and I had a lot of friends that were religious, and I went to church a few times, and I went to like Bible studies or whatever the fuck they call it, and I was asking a lot of questions, and their answers were always like, God works in mysterious ways, or like, you know, only God knows, and things like that. And I was like, okay, you don't know. You don't know, you're just making up stories. And I could see very clearly from a young age of like, that's bullshit. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. And every time you have an actual answer, they just say, God, oh, it's the big man upstairs, or only God knows, or God works in mysterious ways. And I'm like, okay. So from a young age, guys, I kind of thought religion was bullshit. I was just like, I don't feel like anyone knows what they're talking about, okay? But I was always drawn to more Buddhism and Hinduism and things like that because it had more of a spiritual approach to it, all right? It was more like a lifestyle. But guys, then I got into spirituality and Buddhism and Hinduism, and I realized they're still doing the same shit, just with a spiritual cloak on, okay? It's like, everything is your fault. Oh, you manifested that. You manifested bad things happening to you. Or if your prediction doesn't come true on tarot, oh, it's like divine timing. It will come in divine timing, or it's just not the right time yet. Just wait it out, and then it never comes true, okay? I'm not talking about my predictions. I'm talking about like predictions in general, all right? And fuck, maybe some of my predictions are like that too. Who fucking knows, all right? And guys, astrology, because you have a bad astrology chart, astrologers are just like, yeah, well, that's just life. Like, yeah, you have this in this house, so like you're always going to be cheated on, or you have this in this house, so you're always going to be poor. What? Like, I'm going to let a fucking birth chart dictate my life? Like, I'm going to let the stars dictate whether I'm going to be poor or broke? That makes no fucking sense, guys, okay? Now, this is what I really want to get into. Religion. Guys, I can't talk much for Christianity and shit like that because like I said, I wasn't in it that long before I realized, okay, this does not align with me, okay? Let's talk about Hinduism, okay? Non-duality. Guys, and I don't know if all religions are like this, but I know like Buddhism and Hinduism is like this, okay? Guys, there is nothing in the world that you can't get straight answers on apart from spirituality. So I'm going to talk to you about this. If you want to become a lawyer, okay, or a medical student, right? You go and you learn for like 5 years, and they give you direct, or 10 years, whatever. They give you direct answers. They give you practice, okay? It's just like, this law means this, or this medicine is good for this. And you have to do hands-on work. You have to do theory, okay? In the spiritual community, so, and if you ask like how to heal a broken leg, all right, or what is this law on this, people tell you directly, oh, this law is this, oh, you know, you have to heal this leg by doing this, right? When you're in spirituality and you're like, how did we get here? No one can tell you. It's like, go within. It's, oh, you haven't meditated enough, okay? Like, sit with yourself for 500 hours and then you'll know the answer, okay? Like, you'll understand we're all one, or there's no self, or there's no, they don't tell you. And it's like, and it honestly, it drives me fucking crazy, because that's when I really woke up that, oh my God, this is a fucking scam. Like, this is an absolute bullshit scam, okay? Because guys, and if you're sitting here rolling your eyes and you're like, oh, Andy, you just don't know. You just haven't done the inner work. You just haven't sat with yourself, da, da, da. I want you to really ask yourself, why don't they tell you directly though? Why, if being enlightened was so easy, or like, you know, if everyone could be unconditionally happy, why don't they sit down with you and be like, this is how you do it exactly, okay? And people will argue with me and they'll be like, no, Andy, well, they give you scriptures, they give you meditation tools, they'll give you this, right? I'm sorry, I feel angry talking about it because I'm like, I see it now as such a con. Okay, so guys, even if they give you like the step-to-step instructions how to do it. Cool. All right. Some religions do that. Maybe that's what happened to you, whatever. But let's go a little bit deeper here. When I worked with two enlightened people, okay? And I asked them a lot of questions, like so many questions about everything, all right? And all they could tell me is there's no self, we're all one. There's no self, we're all one. That's pretty much all they could give me, okay? When I talk about reincarnation, or like where do we go after we die, or how do we actually get here? Like how do we actually get here? Is there souls? Is there what? There's all this, I think. Hang on, aren't you enlightened? Like, what is enlightenment? And guys, this may just be my all or nothing thinking with the OCD. I will take responsibility for that. But someone bakes me a cake, right? And the cake looks beautiful and gorgeous, but I have stomach issues, right? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I need to figure out what's in that cake because I have stomach issues. And I'm like, what's in the cake? And they're like, it's just a cake. It's just a delicious, delicious, delicious cake. Eat the cake, eat the cake, eat the cake. I'm going to be like, yeah, but where did you get your ingredients from? Is there eggs in it? Is there sugar in it? Is there like, you know, wheat in it? Like, I need to know, right? And they're like, eat the cake, eat the cake, eat the cake. And they're not telling me the ingredients. Why the fuck would I trust that person shoving this cake in my face without telling me the origins of where those ingredients came from, right? That's what I feel like with religion and spirituality. But let's talk about religion for a second. Enlightened people can sit there and be like, there's no self, I'm unconditionally happy. But when I ask them about reincarnation, where we came from, how we got here, they all like, I think, I feel. Okay, so you don't know. So you have this delicious, beautiful cake and it's apparently amazing, but you don't know what the fuck's in it. It could be roofies. All right, we could be eating roofies and rat shit for all we know, okay? And that's what I really felt like. I was just like, I don't want, like, how can I trust you with this amazing cake when you don't even know what the fuck's in it? Like, where did you even get this cake from? Like a homeless person on the road? Like, I can't trust what you're saying because you don't know the full picture. And guys, these enlightened people, I honestly feel like there's probably 10 or 20 people that truly went the full way in this whole entire human existence, okay? I don't doubt enlightenment and higher consciousness exists. I don't doubt that, okay? But a lot of people walking around preaching it, being like, yes, I'm enlightened, unconditional happiness. I feel like you're probably in fucking psychosis. I really do, okay? Because if you were that enlightened, why can't you tell me everything? And if you can only tell me certain things, like if enlightenment is only you know certain things but not other things, I don't want it because I want to know everything, not just a slice of something, okay? I'm not going to work so hard to get a slice of something and be ignorant about everything else. That makes no fucking sense to me. Because when you study a niche topic in law, you know everything. When you study a niche topic in medicine, you know everything, right? I'm not just going to say everyone in medicine knows everything because it's just like there's departments, right? But when you study spirituality, religions that claim to know everything, that have all the answers, but they don't have any answers. Like, we have all the answers, but we don't have any answers. Like, hello? Guys, that's why I was just like, I need to get out of these fucking thought patterns. That's why it drove me fucking insane, because I realized everyone is just talking in circles. In spirituality and religion, no one is actually making sense. There's no, and if you feel like, fuck, I feel crazy, I feel more lost after getting into spirituality, it's because you are more lost. It's because these people don't know what they're talking about, okay, guys? What I feel like religion and spirituality is, okay, I know there's good parts of spirituality and religion, and don't get me wrong, I do understand the good parts. Like Thich Nhat Hanh, a few other people I really look up to and feel like they're very intelligent and they actually know their shit, okay? But guys, what I feel like most spirituality and religion is very manipulative, scammy, narcissistic people wanting to be right, wanting to be righteous, okay? And getting very vulnerable, traumatized people from shit families to follow them, okay? That have no sense of self, all right? So good people like you and me get caught up in these religions and these spiritualities. We get more lost, we get more traumatized. We feel like we need to do all this shadow work and like we need to find our soul tribe and we need to transcend the ego and we need to like, you know, do this and that. Guys, you know what has helped me so much? I would say like 85 to 90% of my stress completely vanished overnight when I said, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm not doing the religion shit. I'm not doing the spirituality shit. I'm just gonna be a good person and take accountability for my actions, not my thoughts, not my fucking subconscious mind, my actions, okay? And my emotions, okay? I'm not gonna like start going off at people. I'll take accountability for the emotions that arise and how I deal with them, right? But guys, when I just went back to being a really normal fucking person, everything lifted for me. And I was like, okay, I don't need to do this shadow work and all this shit. I can go to the beach and just chill the fuck out. I can just live a nice human life and not freak the fuck out all the time about what's the truth? Am I doing enough? Like, I'm lost. Is this person coming back, right? Once you finally accept who you are and come to acceptance that life is good and bad to everyone, okay? Everyone's gonna have good in their life. Everyone's gonna have shit in their life. There's no one out there deciding if you're gonna have a good or shit life. You're the only one deciding that, okay? Because if you have shit come into your life, you can turn it into a positive or learn from it, right? That's up to you. Once you take full accountability for your life and be like, fuck spirituality, fuck gods, fuck angels. No, I'm in charge of my own life. I'm in charge of my own emotions. And no matter what comes my way, I'm going to have a good life regardless. When you have that self-trust, guys, that's what's going to get you through life. As for my career, guys, you may be a little bit confused. You're like, Andy, you're shitting on spirituality and religion so much while you're literally a psychic tarot reader. Like, isn't that so isn't that such a contradiction? That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, guys, this is the thing. I don't think I'm above people. I don't think I'm so special. I don't think I'm so woke. Okay, I know things about people and I don't know how I know them about people. I don't use any tools anymore. Okay, and I've sat with myself for hours and years years about this topic. Okay, I was like, am I a scammer? Am I bullshitting? Am I just like, what's going on here? Do I actually have a psychic ability, or is this trauma, or what? Okay. And one of the biggest things I needed to do in my spiritual journey, or whatever you want to call it, okay, is get rid of my tarot cards. And that's exactly what I did, all right? Because I was like, okay, I will know I'm truly psychic if I get rid of my tools, all right? So how I do readings now, guys, I literally, you know what, I do readings over DM actually. People aren't even in front of me anymore. I can't even see some of these people's profile pics because they have like a picture of a lamb or some shit, okay? And they have like a different name, right? So I don't ask them for their birthday. I don't do astrology shit, guys, okay? Literally, this is how I do my psychic work. Someone asks me a question, I literally sit there, I tap into my intuition and I type back the answer, okay? When you see me scribbling on a piece of paper on TikTok, I honestly do that, fucking dogs in the background. I honestly do that because people tend to trust you more when you have a tool in front of you. That's really, I'm not trying to manipulate people, but if I literally just sat here with no tools, people would just scroll right past and be like, she's fucking scamming, okay? But yes, I don't need any tools, okay? But people that don't have that intuitive gift, they don't understand that. So having a tool in front of me, it makes me look a bit more legitimate, okay? But when I'm actually doing the readings, I don't have any tools in front of me. I just like channel spirit, okay? Now, you may be saying, well, Andy, you're saying the word spirit and you're saying the word channeling. Like, that sounds pretty fucking spiritual to me. Guys, I don't know how I have this gift. I just know I have a gift. I don't know where it comes from. I just know that there's a higher power out there. And I'm not going to categorize this higher power as in like no self and Hinduism and Buddhism and, you know, Palladians and all this bullshit, okay? I just know that there's a higher intelligence out there that, you know, I don't know if it channels me, okay? Or that psychic information is already in me, okay? But the way I see my psychic gift, it's like people are born with this beautiful ability to have the most incredible singing voice, or the ability to be an incredible athlete. That's just how I see myself. I was just born with the gift of intuition, right? It's not special, it's not spiritual, okay? It's just like what it is. It's just like what I was born with, all right? Sometimes I actually feel like it's just within me. I don't feel like I'm being channeled. I feel like I was just born more sensitive energetically than other people. And yeah, but guys, this is what pisses me off too. It's just like, when I say spirit, guys, I'm just talking about a higher intelligence that I know is out there, and that's why I have faith, okay? I have faith that there's a higher intelligence that's kind of like okay, if we were to talk about my spiritual beliefs a little bit more, I just feel like there's something out there that knows better than me, okay? It makes me feel safe knowing that, all right? So whether you want to refer to that as God or whatever, but I'm talking about not categorizing it, talking about faith instead of spirituality and religion. It's more of like this natural trust and knowing, okay? Not this like, oh my God, God is out to get me, or spirit is out to get me, or spirit is punishing me. None of that bullshit, okay? This is what pisses me off. Like, we are silly little humans trying to understand how we got here. Guys, no one understands how we got here. The top scientists in the world, the smartest minds in the world do not know how we got here. They theorize, they're just like, oh yeah, evolution, shit like that. No one actually knows how we got here. Okay, no one actually fucking knows that. So to sit there and be like, yeah, I know all, or non-duality, or, you know, spirituality, like I know the best, it's very ignorant and very arrogant, okay? And I've really seen that. Like, who the fuck am I to tell everyone, including myself, how we got here and how to live? Like, how fucking arrogant and egotistical is that, okay? The only thing we do know is that we're having a human experience. We do know that, okay? And it's like, in this world of suffering and racism and sexism and bigotry and all that, I know there's an energy of wanting to escape this realm, right? And that's why I feel like spirituality and religion it's such escapism from the human realm of like, there's so much suffering here, fuck this place, I don't want to be here, let's go up into the clouds and find something else. But when you can really sit with yourself and be like, okay, this world's fucked, and I'm like, we know this world is very corrupt and very fucked. We know that, right? But how can I be a loving, kind person with integrity that really helps the world when the world is being fucked around me? How can I be a kind, loving human in the human experience without escaping the human experience and trying to make sense of other worlds when we're here right now? Guys, again, spirituality, it really is so much escapism. Like, just admit to yourself now, you don't want to be here, and that's fine. And I'm not talking in an unaliving way, okay? Let's not get fucking crazy with it. But I'm talking about, yeah, this world is hard. There's a lot of suffering. But when you really just sit with yourself and better yourself with like self-development, go to therapy, have critical thought, be a kind person, let go of this group think, okay? Life is really going to, like, have boundaries, so fucking important. Life is going to open up for you so much, guys, okay? When you drop all these fears and ideologies and, because guys, religion and spirituality, I see the good in it, I do, but it's also so fucking fear-based, okay? So fear-based. When you just let this all go and you're like, I'm just gonna be a good person that has faith. That's my religion, having faith and having trust in myself and others. And if others fail me, I'm gonna have faith and trust in myself. All right, guys, that's my religion, that's my spiritual views. That's why I think you should give up religion and spirituality or really minimize it, okay? Because it can be very, very destructive. But in saying that, who the fuck am I to tell you what to do? Okay? I'm just one little human on this world, okay? I just want to speak my shit today. But if you love spirituality and you love religion and you use it in a healthy way, as a healthy tool, okay? It's not your livelihood, it's not your fucking identity, it's a tool paired with a good life of integrity and fulfillment. Go for it. I think that's really beautiful, okay, guys? All right, that was my little rant for today.